Hi, my name's Martha Miller. I'll be teaching 5th grade Spanish and art this year, and I want to talk to you for a minute about Spanish. Our goal at Blessed Sacrament is for our students to be able to test out of high school Spanish 1 when they graduate from the 8th grade. Many of our students opt to do that every year. We use all kinds of learning activities in Spanish class, from games to songs to videos, but there are the inevitable worksheets and tests and quizzes, and all of that written work will be centered this year in Google Classroom. Students will be shown how to use Google Classroom in class, but I'd like to take a moment to introduce parents to it as well. Your child's dashboard will look something like this, but they'll have many more classes after they join each of their classes. Each of the squares represents a class. So I'm going to click on the Spanish class. In this case, it's 5A, but 5B and 5C have a classroom that looks just like this. There are 3 different pages in the classroom. The stream is where it opens. I really don't use the stream a lot. There's an automatic message that shows up there when I post something new, and the student gets a message to the BSS email as well when that happens. So classwork, the center option, is where all of the work will be posted. The topics, of course, are over here on the side, and then they're big in the center. This, of course, is our table of contents. You can see that I have things in each of these sections, and I want to tell you just a little bit about them. Right now, there's a welcome section at the top because we're at the beginning of the year, and so I'll have some materials in here as we get class started. When we're finished with that, I'll move that down to the bottom, and students won't need to worry with that anymore. And so the most current work will always be up at the top. So for each unit, I will have 2 sections, a section for assignments and a section for notes. Our first unit is called Bienvenidos, and so you can see they're both labeled with the name of the unit and then assignments and notes. Assignments are where the actual work takes place. So if a student has classwork on a worksheet, it would be in assignments. This is also where homework would be posted, and so they would go here and they would follow the directions. And I'm going to just click on this quickly, and you can see there are directions here, and then there is a link. This is something we'll do in class. It's not for students to do now, but that would be what homework assignments would look like as well. And so they would read the directions, click on the link to do their work. The notes section is going to be especially helpful for preparing for quizzes and that kind of thing. I will put notes from our online workbook about the classes we've had. I will put study guides in that section. Right now there is a link to our class Quizlet there. Down at the bottom is one last topic, and it's called Tips for Google Classroom. From time to time, I may put something in there if an issue comes up that a number of people are having, just answering questions about Google Classroom. There is something really useful there now. It's called Find the Assignment List, and that's a place where parents might like to go. It has a screenshot and a brief tutorial put together by a teacher that explains where you can go to find students' assignments for all their Google classes, not just for the Spanish one. And so it's nice to be able to see those, almost like an online planner. I'd like to go back to the welcome section for just a moment. There are 2 documents that I'd like to point out to parents. The first here is the curriculum. I won't take the time to go there now, but if you're interested in seeing specifically what 5th graders learn in Spanish, click there and it will take you to a link where you can look at that in some detail. The next document is about the class, and I am going to be going over this with students in class the first day that we meet. I'm not going to go over this with you in detail, but there are a few things that I think you would be interested in. So one of those is the teacher contact. One of the easiest ways to contact me is through Google Classroom. You can message me from any assignment and it sends an email that I will respond to as soon as I am able. The phone number for the school is listed there along with my extension number. That is not the best way to contact me, but I do return calls. And then my school email, a link to that is also here. If you'd like to email me directly, that's fine as well. If you use the school email, please put your child's name in all capital letters. In the message line, it helps it get through the spam filter. Another item of interest in this document is about grades. In Spanish, grades are based on homework, on small quizzes, and on unit tests. This document also mentions quiz and test dates. Students are notified in several ways about a week ahead of time for all quizzes and all tests. It is posted in the 5th grade Google Calendar. It'll be posted here on Google Classroom, and students are also asked to write it in their planner. Oftentimes, parents tell me that they feel at a loss to help students with their Spanish homework if they haven't taken Spanish themselves. I want to assure you that's not the case. Oftentimes, I find that students just don't read the directions carefully if they had a problem. So please, if your child tells you, I just don't understand this, I don't know what to do, the two things I would suggest you do with them is read through the directions. They're written in English, and make sure that they understand what to do. And if it's still a sticking point, say, well, let's look back a little bit and see the notes that go with this. If your student is new to BSS this year, I want to welcome them and to reassure them that even if they've not taken Spanish before, that they're in fine shape. Our students do start learning vocabulary in the 2nd grade, but we don't expect new students to go back and pick up anything. 5th grade is really when our students start learning grammar, and your student will only be expected to learn the grammar and the vocab that is in the units that we cover, so they'll be fine. The one area where they may need to put in just a little bit of extra effort is learning numbers. Our students do already know them fairly well, and we study numbers 1 through 29 in our 2nd unit. And so it would be really helpful maybe before that to start working with some numbers in Quizlet to be ready for that so that they don't feel behind when we get to that new vocab. Lastly, I'd like to welcome all of our incoming 5th graders. I look forward to working with you and hope that we will have a fun and productive year learning Spanish together. Hasta pronto! See you soon!